Hello all, it's Burn-A-Briar, and I'd like to start by hoping you all had a fantastic International Pipe Smoking Day yesterday. I was hoping to submit a video yesterday, but I just didn't find the time. Things are really busy here at the moment, but I'm doing one today. My last video was all about my pipe collection, and the last pipe I showed was this, which is my clay pipe. And I mentioned in that video that I may elaborate a little more about it, because there's quite a lot of history behind what this pipe actually is. It's not just a standard clay pipe. Which brings me on to housekeeping. I'm smoking my Burn-A-Briar cork clay pipe with some Dunhill Elizabethan mixture. Incidentally, you can see the artwork for the Dunhill Elizabethan mixture tin has a pipe that looks very similar to this, sitting down beside the model of the ship. Yeah, I'm finishing off the last of the Elizabethan mixture. I mentioned when I was smoking it in my first video, I mentioned that I had mixed feelings about the blend, and that's still true. But I'm going to see the tin through. I probably won't buy another one, not for a while anyway. So yeah, this video is going to be about this pipe. It was found by my grandmother in an antique shop. And she was intrigued by the writing on the side, which says 1852 to 1952, works with great Burn-A-Briar cord. So she asked the shop owner what he knew about it. He knew absolutely nothing. So she bought the pipe and she investigated, and it actually led her to take a holiday and go and visit Worksworth Burn-A-Briar cord. And she did a bit of research into the history behind why this was made. And it's printed out here, so I'll read it to you. Little shout out to Harry Roughton here, the young piper, because I know he's got a degree in history, so he'll know quite a lot about sort of the history of the UK and stuff. But this is something a little interesting. I hope you guys will like that. In medieval times, an area known as King's Fields, which was around about 115 square miles in size, was established as a free mining area. Worksworth is located in the centre of this area, and anybody was allowed to set up as a miner work by very liberal rules, permitting them to search for lead ore anywhere search for lead ore anywhere in this area except for churchyards, gardens, orchards and highways. The miners had right of access, water and space to mine and dump their waste without regard. They did, however, have to pay a royalty on all ore mined, which was 1/13 of what they mined, which would go to the crown, and 1/10 would go to the church. The Burn-A-Briar courts were established to deal with disputes and claims arising from the mining, and they were the official body that would kind of govern over collecting the royalties that were due. They were set up in 1288, and their jurisdiction covered both to the Crown lands of the Duchy of Lancaster and those under individual ownership, comprising 7 clearly defined districts. Great Barmot courts with wider powers were placed by the 15th century, meeting at Easter and Michaelmas. The courts had 24 jurors and were run by the barmaster and the steward. They sit before a famous brass measuring dish made in 1509 and normally chained to the wall of the building. The dish is engraved on both sides and the inscriptions read, "This dish was made on the day of October in the year of the reign of King Henry VIII, before George Earl of Salisbury, steward of the King's most honourable household." Owing to the process made in modern mining, many of the customs and much of the procedure that the courts had to deal with has now become obsolete. There are 2 Barmot courts, one at Monash covering the high peak and one at Wirksworth covering the low peak. In 1814, Monash Court moved to Wirksworth, and since 1994 the 2 have met together once a year, in April, in line with tradition. Bread, cheese, clay pipes and tobacco are all provided at these annual meetings, and a representative of the monarch, who is Lord of the Fields, attends. So, yeah, that's the story. There are these courts in Kingsfield, and there was once a lot of lead mining, and these mines were set up for that purpose. And as I mentioned at the end there, a sort of customary tradition whenever the courts meet is that bread, cheese, clay pipes and tobacco are provided. Well, this is one of the clay pipes. They meet in April, and there is some significance of the date 1852, because here is written 1852 to 1952, Wirksworth Great Barmot Court, and they met on the 24th of April 1952. So this was the sort of 100-year celebration, and this was one of the pipes that would be provided to the jurors when they had their annual meeting. So it's safe to assume this pipe was made for the 1952 meeting. Which means it's coming up to 65 years old. But it's still made in the traditional way that pipes would have been made when tobacco smoking first came to England. I must say it smokes beautifully. Very, very cool. The bowl gets very hot because it's very thin, you can see. But the long stem, the sort of church warden shape, really is effective on this pipe. And the flavour of the tobacco is very pure. Yeah, I hope you liked hearing that. I'm gonna hope that I didn't waffle on too much there. I didn't read it particularly well, but it's quite interesting. I think here in England and the rest of the United Kingdom, we really take for granted all the history and little traditions that we have grown up alongside. And I know some of you will come from countries with perhaps less history. Some of you maybe with more. But I know particularly in New Zealand, Australia or America that, you know, younger countries with a little less history, this sort of thing might, maybe if history's your thing, it might appeal to you, and I'm certain that it would to many British people too. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm thinking about posting another one soon about how I got into pipe smoking, because I've sort of touched on the subject, but there's more to say about it. And hope you guys are all enjoying your piping. I'll catch you all later.